Well, that was a little bit of a cliffhanger there, wasn't it? It's like 4 months after I made the trip up to the North Shore of Lake Superior, and going through and editing this last video, it occurred to me that I didn't stop and take any more video after I left the campsite. I did make a few stops along the way, but I didn't actually stop and make any more video. So what do you think? Did I make it? Yeah, it's not really that much of a cliffhanger. So after I left the campsite, it was raining a little bit for most of the way. I went back down into Grand Marais, and I stopped at the gas station there, checked my tire pressure, filled up my tires because my tire repair kit has those little CO2 canisters to inflate the tire with, and I don't know if maybe I wasn't using them very well or if they're just not that big. But those little CO2 canisters only put about 10 psi in my rear tire, so I stopped, filled it up. I kept heading south out of Grand Marais along Highway 61. Beautiful, beautiful ride, and stopped at Two Harbors and checked my tire pressure again there. It was leaking a tiny bit, but not a lot, and it could have just been a variation in pressure between when I filled it in Grand Marais and when I checked it in Two Harbors. I kept going into Duluth, checked it again. Everything seemed fine when I was in Duluth, so I just kept going straight back from there. North of Duluth at the Lester River, there was a really amazing spot. I kept on looking off to my left and seeing this dark cloud on the horizon with a little tiny piece of rainbow underneath it, just touching the water, and I had to stop. I took a picture there. I should have done some video there too, because that would have been a good spot to sort of wrap up where I was and where I was headed. That was close to sunset, and I pretty much headed straight back from Duluth, taking the back roads because I didn't want to go too fast on the flat tire, on the patched tire. I didn't want the patch to come flying out and be stranded in the middle of nowhere. The middle of nowhere being an interstate, of course. It was wicked cold the whole way back. My jacket was wet. My heated jacket liner was barely keeping up. I think my jacket liner was probably the reason I didn't freeze to death on my motorcycle, because it was down around 34 degrees, I think, 33 degrees. The ice warning popped up on the dash. So I was on the lookout, even though I was pretty sure there wasn't going to be any ice. But yeah, I did eventually make it back. It was well after dark by the time I got back here. I took a really long shower because I was so cold. But given that, I would do it again. I would absolutely do it again. I've learned to not fear the flat tire. I can repair a flat tire and I can get somewhere. So yeah, it was a great trip. It was a great trip. I'm totally going to do it again. This one, I need to plan my budgeting a little bit better. I need to have a little more cash. My motorcycle is actually still in the garage with a flat tire because it's a couple $100 to get a new tire and get it mounted. It's March, so there's snow on the ground now. There's going to be snow on the ground well into April, so I don't know when I'll be able to really get out and go someplace again. But I'll try to keep it coming, or maybe a couple of weeks off in spring here as I try to get more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.